every time the last few times I've gone to get Slurpees or slushies, they're like not frozen.
I know.
They're always like liquidy. I'm like, it's the machine's job is to make it a slushie.
Exactly.
That's its only job.
It's not a watery. It's a slushie. Please.
Go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pisses me off though, because I'm just like, I want the texture.
I know.
And it's never there.
I know, right? This reminds me, I also have to share a sentiment that a friend shared with me, because he asked me to say this in the next episode.
Okay.
Something apparently that's important is to hate the player and the game. And I think that's a good analogy for our last episode regarding conflict, if you choose to handle it that way. Hating the player and also hating the game. Mm-hmm. Just all in, baby. I
respect that.
I don't understand it, but you know what?
I know, I was going to ask for elaboration, but I was like, it
can't
feels
provide
like
it.
You can't.
It was just
I don't think it needs one.
No, honestly. It speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
With that, though, welcome to episode 8 of the Lonelycast.
Hey!
We've officially...
Abby's back in Montreal.
Yeah, I'm no longer traveling. Sorry about the breaks and the weird scheduling, which, by the way, if you missed our Instagram post, we will be uploading on Fridays now instead of Wednesdays. I think it just works better for both of our schedules and with editing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's summer. We want to get out there.
Yeah, the weekends are for fun. The weekends are for fun. Sunday, fun day.
Not that this isn't fun, but it is stressful at times to set up.
It is, especially when nothing goes right, but...
Yeah, we've had a couple tech issues, but we're back and we're better.
We are. Back and better than ever. And also having watched Bo Burnham's new special, Inside.
Yep.
Ooh, got a lot to say about that one.
Did you watch it for the third time?
Yes, I started this morning. I'm halfway through.
Nice.
So, I'm on my third watch. Which is kind of embarrassing, but, like, also...
It's really good.
It's so good. I don't know. I guess my first thought is he is also a Virgo moon. So...
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is Abby's proposal to Bo Burnham.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a warning, if you're not interested.
This entire episode. Hi, Bo. It's nice to meet you. I also have a Virgo moon, and I deeply, deeply understand how you feel.
I don't know what any of that means.
Don't worry.
Wait, but we'll discuss it in a different episode. I'm going to need you to explain it to me because you make references to astrology and I'm like, I don't know what any of that means.
This is true. It's all very vague. We'll have an astrology episode, but a Virgo moon,
nice.
Or I guess your moon sign, I'll just do a brief little explanation. Your moon sign is like your deepest, most innermost self. That's like all to do with your emotions and stuff. It's who you are when you're most comfortable around people. Not a lot of people will get to like see that side of you. It's how you like process your emotions and stuff like that. Virgo moons, there's barely any there's not a whole lot of emotion there until we reach a breaking point, because all we do is compartmentalize things and put things away for later. And it's a lot of like, if I feel a big feeling, I'm just not going to deal with it and I'll think about it later. And it leads to very big breakdowns and burnouts. But it also means we're hypervigilant and hyper analytic about how we feel a lot of the time and how we react and how we treat people. And we're just in our heads all the time about literally everything. So in the section of like the best depiction, I would say, in the special was when he had that portion where he was like
spoilers. Sorry.
Oh yeah. We're going to be talking about the special a lot in this episode, so like if you haven't seen it, don't listen to this and then watch it and then come back and listen to this, obviously.
But go watch it so you can come listen to us.
Yeah.
And also because it's really good. Sorry, continue.
Exactly. It's 100% worth it. It's a piece of art. But the section of the special where he does like his reaction of his singing his song and stuff like that, that's basically like the best way to like write it down, is like that's what a Virgo moon is, and that's how we process things, where it's like we'll say and we'll do things and then we'll like 360 it and be like, wait, actually no, the reason why I do is this, and it's like, wait, no, why do I always have to come off as intelligent? I don't know. So like every single time we record an episode, just know that like I'm going through all of those phases like over and over and over again as I edit, and then eventually my like go-to feeling about it is I don't fucking care anymore. I just want this out of my hands and into the universe, and I'm not going to think about it ever again. And I really hope that I don't say anything that makes me sound like too big of an asshole, because although I should be held accountable, sometimes that makes me anxious.
I feel that. I had a bit of an issue with last week's episode, or 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Oh, really?
Kind of the same thing, just like it was different being in person and not in the comfort of my office.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I was super, like I was myself, but not really. Like some of the stuff I said, I was just like, you're not in my, like while I was saying it, I was like, shut up,
Oh, no.
stop.
Yep.
But it was well received, so that's good.
Exactly. Like, I feel like in those moments when we are fully in our heads, we typically come across as, like, fine. It's never, like, a really great feeling while you're in it or even after it, but, like, people generally don't notice it. The things that always get me are the things where I'm not thinking about it, and I just, like, say and do things and then don't proceed to think about it afterwards. And then that's when people are like, oh, wait, you sounded like kind of an asshole here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's valid. You're right.
Yeah.
But then I start questioning my entire existence, even though that's, like, also wrong, too, because, like, I should just build a bridge, get over it, improve. But it's fine. That's not what this is about. Now we're spiraling. This is our own inside.
Yeah, we're
Inside
planning on talking about, like, Netflix and the Bo Burnham Special, but we're just like... Who are we as people? Why do we handle things a certain way?
But I mean, this is like, that's like what the special did to me initially on first watch. I like had settled into bed. It was like, I don't know, 9:30. I was like, oh, a new Bo Burnham special? That's crazy. I should watch this before I fall asleep. Hour and 45 minutes goes by, and I kid you not, I did not fall asleep until like 2, 3 a.m. that morning. I was just staring at my ceiling and thinking about it, and I was like, wow. Yeah. It's like this past year, haha. Just a little concerned for myself, but
that's the thing. If you're planning on watching it, I was kind of warned about what it would be like. It's not just a comedy special. It's gets a little deep, gets a little raw, and it really messed me up. We went to record yesterday, and we had some issues like with tech, so we couldn't. And I was very grateful because I was like in another world. I was like still processing it. It's really beautiful. It's like very funny. But like I've known of Bo Burnham for like 12 years. He had this EP or album that he released called I'm Boyo or whatever. Where he just like made songs because he's really good at making songs. And it's just crazy to see someone that you think is just so funny and like not miserable. Yeah. Like be trapped in a room and go through what everyone else is going through and just see how they handle it. And it was really interesting and really emotional, and big fan.
Well, and I feel like with all of his stuff that he's put out in previous years and stuff, whether that be his comedy specials or his songs or like his YouTube videos and stuff like that, like way back in the day, I feel like obviously we got like a very pared down version of like his inner workings, where it's like it's the final product. And, like, he'll sing and he'll write songs about these things that are, like, very real and very emotional and heavy and, like, stuff that a lot of people who struggle with mental illness go through. But he'll write about it in a very funny, like, lighthearted way. And he does that on purpose, right? But, I mean, with this, it was different because, I mean, it was just him all doing everything. And it was him in front of a camera for, like, over a year. And it's impossible to hide when things are starting to kind of like seep through into it. And the fact that it was kind of like our first glimpse of something that he put out where it was like really just that real, and his breakdowns and his like mental health and everything like that, like it was so right there that it kind of took away that like very tailored, perfected image of him that I had previously had, you know?
Yeah, well, because like if you've watched other specials, he rehearses them for months and months, and he has like a crew behind that helps him with all the lighting, and it's very like particular, and there's people, and that was like a huge difference, is that it was just him, and he kind of had to navigate all those things on his own. But something that was really like interesting to watch is just how bad he wanted to finish it, but also how he was very nervous to finish it, because it got to a point where it was like, what am I going to do after this? Because this whole pandemic has gone on way longer than I thought it would, and if I don't have this thing that I'm focusing on, I'm going to lose my mind. Which he was sort of starting to lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lose it, but he started getting really, really anxious. I don't know, it was just really interesting to watch, because when I feel like sometimes people don't get that these entertainers, like comedians, actors, like they're people. Like, he's not like how he is on stage 24/7. Like, he gets anxious, he has panic attacks, he's a person who has emotions, and he's not on all the time. He's not just a joke machine. I don't know. I still want to watch it again. And really process it, but I've never like gone from laughing to crying so fast.
No, and like that's a thing that I've been like really thinking about too, because although I've been like a big fan of him for years and years now, there's a part of me that after seeing this, I'm like, I know probably the last thing that he wants is people to like put him on a pedestal for this art that he's created. And so I'm trying to like make sure that I'm not like, oh my God, Bo Burnham is the most blah, 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 blah person. Like, but what he did with that special was so just profoundly talented. Being able to like articulate create something that first of all looks that good, sounds that good. Like you could tell like it was all like kind of there. I saw there was like some few editing mistakes and stuff like that, but like, I mean, who gives a fuck? Like it still was an amazing piece of art, and like he articulated something that so many people went through over the past year in such an accurate way, in such a funny and creative way, that is just like, he is genuinely a genius.
He is,
I think 100%. And I mean,
and it makes like these like emotions and situations that we're going through a little easier to stomach, like when it's presented to you in somewhat of a lighter way. Yeah, but it is insane. How talented he was. Again, I understand what you're saying about not wanting to put him on a pedestal, but that is, every aspect of it was so creative and just beautiful. Even just, I'm a big like cinematic. I like lights. I like setups of like scenes. So much thought went into like every second of that show. I don't know. I'm still... I don't even think I fully processed it, and I watched it like 2 days ago.
My favorite thing with things like that, because like I'll usually do this with like YouTube videos and stuff that I watch, and like this special admittedly was kind of like some of the content that the YouTubers that I like to watch put out. That's just like very like well thought, and there's different like sections and parts and different like aspects of cinematography involved. But in this one specifically, like I love trying to figure out the continuity of like how he filmed and like wrote, and like whether or not he like wrote everything first and then like made the songs, or like, you know, I want to like, I wish I could talk with him about it and just like ask about all of these different things and how he did it, because I think like that's the most cool, like how do you keep track of all of that in your brain and like make like a full like feature length special by yourself in your fucking MacBook, because God knows I have issues even putting out like one fucking podcast episode. Like, it's so
I was thinking about that a lot too, because I feel like there was probably days where he was feeling really, really creative, like staying up super late, like has like a really good idea of what he wanted to get done and what he was doing with it. And there's probably days or weeks where he was just like, I have nothing, I don't know what to do. I don't know, it was probably very life-changing for him.
Yeah.
Just to be that secluded and, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so while I did my research, because I'm a crazy stalker person, and I was like, is Bo Burnham single? And I don't think he is. I think he's been dating this, I think she's like a director and writer, like for like 8 years, but they keep their relationship super private. And I think he was, like, living in the guest house of their home, because in his last special that he released on Netflix, Be Happy, there's, like, a scene at the end, which I watched actually today. I'm broken. There's, like, a scene, and it's, like, the same room, and that was kind of, like, a weird flashback for me, because I was like, whoa. And then his next special was, like, filmed in that room that, like, his last special ended in. But it's very, very interesting. So he's not single, unfortunately. However, that doesn't mean I wouldn't say no to a cup of coffee.
We just want to take you for lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
And chat.
Exactly.
Well, it's a little nice, like, comforting to know. Like, I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
And even though it was very raw and we saw, like, a different side of him, we don't know him. But I'm happy to know that he has someone there for support. And that he wasn't just by himself for a
in, like,
year.
some weird Airbnb somewhere in LA.
That's
like,
what it, like, the way it's shot, that's what it seems like. Like, he didn't leave this tiny little room for, like, a year. No, it was really beautiful, though. And the songs are really funny, but also, like, just calling out some issues that are going on right now. In a way that's, like, I don't see how anyone could get offended by it. Yeah. Yeah. It's, like, not too aggressive, but he's being like, hey, this is shitty. Don't do that. Yeah. I don't know. It's so good.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely, like, I like that there's a mixture of, like, more heavier hitting ones where it's, like, he did, like, That Is How the World Works with his little sock puppet.
Yeah.
And Welcome to the Internet. Oh, my God. That one, like, starts out, like, kind of sweet and nice, and then it, like, just really spirals.
Yeah.
And then going into,
also,
like
the white woman's
Instagram. Fucking love that one. Or, he did... Why am I blanking so hard? Never mind. Screw that. White Woman's Instagram. Beautiful song. There's another one that's, like, pretty good and, like, pretty lighthearted, not too serious. That's just funny, but I don't know. It's brilliant. And, like, I will probably, like, rewatch it for a 4th, 5th, 6th time just because, like, it's so good. And it's, like, it's weird, though, because it's one of those things where, like, if there are people in my life that haven't seen it yet, I'm hesitant to tell them to go watch it, because I don't think it's something that is for everybody.
I like talking about it with my boyfriend, because we were planning on watching it together, but I wanted to watch it before we recorded. And I was like, maybe make sure you're, like, in an okay state of mind before you watch it. Like, because I was feeling kind of okay when I watched it, and I know that if I watched it on a bad day, I would be in a mood for, like, a week.
Yeah.
It does get really dark, but I think it's really worth it. super funny, but also just really gets you thinking.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
It made me kind of bummed that I didn't really create or do anything during the pandemic. But something that I remind myself is that okay, obviously the podcast. That's not what I meant.
What are we literally doing right now?
That's not what I meant.
No, that's fair.
Obviously this is something that's new, and I'm really proud of the both of us for actually doing it. I just mean, like, I wanted to write a bunch and I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Like, little things like that, but just surviving and coming out of that is a big win.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's for sure, like, it's weird because looking back over the past year, like, I obviously dealt with my fair share of highs and lows, whether that was spurred on by, like, you know, personal things going on in my life or, you know, big global events that were happening that I was, like, trying to deal with and think about and process. One that really shook me in the past year was experiencing agoraphobia for the first time ever. And I didn't know if it was that at first because I was like, oh, it's just my anxiety. I'm just feeling very anxious. But it was like, no, like, I couldn't leave my house without crying. Like, the only time I could leave is if I was leaving to, like, I had to be somewhere. So if I was going to work, I would be like, okay, this is fine. And I would, like, hyperventilate basically my entire way there. Like, I would just be, like, on the verge of a panic attack. So, like, on my days off, though, if I had nowhere to be, nothing to do, I wouldn't leave because if I tried to force myself to leave, I would start crying. Like, there have been so many alleyways around this apartment that I have just sobbed in because I'm, like, panicking about being outside because I had, like, forced myself to go there because I felt like something was so wrong with me. Like, and I didn't know how to cope properly with, like, that feeling of, like, doom of, like, going into the outside world and stuff. I didn't know what it came from. I just kind of was like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, I needed to just get out of my apartment for the day, and now I'm, like, sobbing, and I don't know what happened in that moment. But I don't know. I'm starting to realize now it was a lot more common for people than I had realized in the past. And I think that it was something that should have probably been talked about a little bit more over, like, the course of the pandemic because, like, I mean, not saying that it's over, but, like, you know, when we were, like, all super locked down, especially, like, last, like, summer and autumn and stuff like that, I felt like that was kind of when it was really bad for me. But, like, no one I found that I knew of, and I didn't really see a whole lot of discourse online, was talking about it. Everyone was kind of just, like, yelling about staying inside, so I was like, okay, I'm inside, and now I cry when I leave, so.
Yeah, that's something that I was thinking about the other day. I feel like most people are past the point of being scared of, like, getting COVID or giving COVID, because that was a major reason for not wanting to leave. But now as people are getting vaccinated and things are opening up a little bit, like, that's not the issue. It's just we've gone so long feeling, like, guilty about seeing people or doing things that now it's, like, hard. Like, even I love walking places. I love going for walks, and I've been having a hard time doing so because I'm scared of running into people. And I joke about it, but I genuinely, like, am scared I'm gonna run into someone I know, or just even walking past strangers. The other day I wanted to go and pick up some stuff, and I, like, just didn't. And I was like, oh, I'll just order it.
Yeah.
But, like, I have my small circle of friends, and we sit in my one friend's backyard, and that's, like, my, like, I'm easing into it. But it's, like, I have work, my house, and then that is kind of, like, a little extra. But I don't want to go out to restaurants. I don't want to do any of that stuff because I'm just like, I don't know, scared of people now, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so I don't know why. Like, even when we were meeting up at the park, or the hill. The hill.
The hill.
There were so many people, and I was walking, and I was like, they're staring at me. Everyone's staring at me. I shouldn't be here. I need to go home. Like, and I don't know why. It's just, I worked past the being scared of catching COVID, but now I'm scared of people.
Yeah,
I guess.
Socializing again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just, like, I'm always in, like, you know, very controlled environments when I socialize. I typically have, like, the upper hand, or even at work where I'm like, oh, I know what to expect, like, whatever. But then when you go outside into the world now, you're like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Especially because I think, like, in the past year we have seen so many just tragedies and horrible things take place. It's hard to view the outside world, no matter where you live, as, like, a welcoming, fun space to be in, because so much bad shit happens out there. At least that's what we've really been focused on. Like, bad shit has always happened, but everyone's been very hyper focused on it.
Yeah. My boyfriend and I stopped by my friend Matthew's place to pick something up, and we did the wearing masks, standing quite a bit away from each other thing. And I realized that socializing now is, like, the end of a hangout, like the awkward, like, saying goodbye. Like, you skip the socializing part, like the hanging out, getting dinner. You're like standing outside of a restaurant, standing kind of far away from each other, like talking, but like one of you's waiting to say goodbye. That's what socializing is like now.
Exactly.
And it's weird.
Yeah. I'm very thankful for my bubble of friends that I have, and that they're willing to do things. At first I was worried, because last summer all that I really did was, like, once or twice a week go see my friends in the park and we would drink. And, like, that's, like, fun, like, once in a while, but it gets very old, especially because I was just going through a lot and I needed, like, more stimulation, I think. But this summer I have a group of friends that, like, Friday we had, like, ratatouille on my friend's roof, and then the next day we went to the beach all day, and then today I'm going to a barbecue later, like, and it's, like, all with the same group, which is nice, but we're varying up the activities, which I enjoy, because I'm a very impatient person and I like to do things. Next, what I need is just to find a friend that's, like, down to do whatever with me. So if I'm like, I'm going to the farmer's market, do you want to come? Maybe I can fill that with a romantic partner. Who knows, though? I've been alone for so long. I do not know how to date anymore. But
my issue right now is that all I can really do is, like, sit at home and, like, watch movies or shows, or play video games, or go for walks. Because I'm not quite down to, like, go to restaurants and stuff, and there's not really anything else to do. But now it's like walks aren't that enjoyable, because it's like during my walk I'm just thinking, as soon as this is over, I'm gonna have to probably either watch a show or play a video game to, like, stimulate my brain. And I'm starting to have, like, a hard time focusing on anything, which is my own fault, but I've watched a lot of really good movies and shows.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's good.
Exactly. I've recently decided that I'm going to try to listen to less music, which is going to be a task for me, because I feel like I'm constantly always listening to music if I'm not, like, watching something. But I found out that music does distract you from actually, like, thinking about things. And given the amount of music that I listen to, I've probably hindered a lot of my processing of certain issues in my life.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah, but I think it's probably starting to catch up with me. I don't know. I feel like I've started to appreciate like doing things in silence a little bit more. Like if I, instead of like putting on a show or listening to music while I do dishes, I just stand and do dishes. Like it sounds like the most boring thing ever, and it kind of is. But I do get some good thinking done. Or like going to the park to read a book and not. I also do this a lot, which is probably not healthy for my brain, but I'll listen to music and read at the same time. And like just because I've always like thought that was like good and cool. But I've also noticed that I don't like take in a lot of what I'm reading when I do that either. And so going to the park and like sitting with no music in and reading a book is a whole new experience. Yeah, I don't know. I've always just felt like I've had to like fill my brain with a bunch of things constantly or else like I'm bored.
I have to.
Yeah.
I should probably work on that too, because like when I'm watching something, I'm on my phone at the same time, and I find that I focus more on what I'm watching when I'm on my phone also.
Okay.
Like if I put my phone down and I'm like not really processing what's happening, and then if I'm like on my phone and like glancing up, I'm way more focused. It's really bizarre.
Oh my god, we're just so used to multitasking. Capitalism has done a number on us, guys.
Curses. Did you see Grimes' video?
I wanted to talk about that today too.
What is she talking
proposition
about?
For the communists. I don't know. AI is owned by mega rich people and will never properly be dispersed to the working class anyways, so it's null. Plus she...
You're laying next to the richest man in the world.
Yeah, I saw another TikTok that literally was just talking about how it was all manipulation for cryptocurrency because they're manipulating the markets because Elon has gotten in trouble a lot recently for his antics on Twitter. With his like mentioning of Dogecoin and then like everyone buying into Dogecoin. Like he's like subliminally, I don't know if that's the right word, subconsciously, not even really. He's very intentionally manipulating the markets so that he gets a payout pretty much. Because she put up that first video that's like, I have a proposition for the communists, and then she put up another one like I think a day or like a few hours or something later, like it wasn't too much longer afterwards, that was like a very similar video, and I honestly do not remember what the fuck she was even talking about.
I don't think she knew what she was talking about.
No, because I think Elon made her do it. Because at the end of the video, Elon goes, hey, did you check Bitcoin today? And then the video ends. And so I think he's just trying to play around with new ways of manipulating the cryptocurrency market, to be honest.
They're literal aliens.
100%.
I don't believe that Elon and Grimes... Yeah, but something is so off about them.
100%.
My thing is... what do you do with that much money?
You be a greedy little bitch and sit on it and then take in more and more and more, and then you think that you're God.
What? Like what are you even doing with this money? Like he could do whatever he wants and then still have a shit ton of money left over. Like it's an absurd amount of money. I don't think people get that.
No, I genuinely think that like corporate elites are inhuman, and they probably are involved in a lot more like darker, weirder shit than we think, because they just have access to it. And all of their craziest fantasies are accessible to them, and no one's gonna tell them no, because they have money and they can post, like they're the most powerful people in the world, because that's how it works, and that's terrifying. And I'm sick of it. And I cannot wait till we all have a little feast. Because I am so tired and scared. But it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks because Grimes was like really cool. And then she started dating Elon Musk.
She lived in Montreal. She's like Montreal grown. She's a Montreal weirdo. And then she got really famous and got married. But I also heard that, like, I mean, there's been accusations. I don't know if this is alleged or not. of like him being an abusive partner.
Oh, I can see that. I was just gonna say that, like, I've seen he just talks to her like she's an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like has weird things about like raising his kids and stuff like that, and like pretty sure the reason why he's all had sons, which this is definitely alleged, is like because of like genetic choices and stuff like that. And like I don't know, I just think he's a rich fucking creep, and she's probably a victim in certain ways. But yeah.
Every episode, I'm just like, let's bring back bullying.
Literally. Welcome to the Lonelycast. We bully people here.
Just the bad ones.
The corporate elite, and we don't feel bad about it.
No, I just can't wrap my head around having that much money and seeing people like struggle so hard. Yeah. And being like, more for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've already created so much wealth for yourself that you're good. Like you can go buy a plane, you can go do whatever the hell you want, and you still have like an absurd amount of money.
Exactly. Grimes on a fucking TikTok talking about, I have a proposition for the communists. Blah, blah, blah. We can totally reach post-scarcity, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you and your husband could probably get the world to reach post-scarcity just by dividing up your wealth and handing it out. But you'll never do that because you lose all of your power the minute that you do that. So what you care about isn't the betterment of the world or communism or anarchy or blah, 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 blah. What you care about is power and being a dictator of what happens to the working class. So...
Yep.
Fuck you to the moon and back. Anyways,
every time I listen to a Grimes song now, I'm like, ugh, it bops, but hater.
It's okay. Spotify gives barely anything to their artists, so like, ooh.
Calling out Spotify now?
Yeah, that's another corporation I hate, but also love. It's problematic fave, unfortunately. Speaking of Spotify, did you do your... Oh, wait, you don't use Spotify.
Abby, you're not supposed to tell anyone. Everyone gets really mad.
Spotify supremacy.
I know.
There's like that astrology thing that everyone has been doing, and I did mine, and I got really embarrassed.
What is it?
It's basically like this Spotify your own, so you can like click this link and it will like put a bunch of like your statistics for your artists and stuff into like really pretty looking things that you can share. So it's like, what's your sun, moon, and rising artists, and like what are your dinner guests, what are your 3 dinner guests that you would have that are like artists that you like and listen to. My dinner guest I was very proud of, actually, and I think it would be a fucking bomb ass, if not kind of sad, dinner party. Charlie XCX, very hype, very sexy, very great. Phoebe Bridgers, very sexy, very chill, very sad, but also very funny. Also, Charlie XCX is very funny too. Her TikToks kind of make my life. And then Fiona Apple, just very sad, but also very interesting. And I think that would be a very great dinner party. And yeah, but then I found out my son in Spotify is Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your son, not your
son. My son artist is Taylor Swift. My son is Taylor Swift.
I was like, what?
One day I'll have a baby, and you shall call her Mom. And you shall call her Taylor Swift. Anyways,
it's a TikTok
so Taylor
reference.
Swift was apparently Taylor Swift's my top artist right now, and like at first I was embarrassed about it, but I'm trying out this new thing where I just like the things that I like because I like them and not because I want other people to think that it's cool that I like them. So that's fun. Taylor Swift is my top artist right now, and then my moon sign, my most emotive artist that I like is Joji, apparently, which I think is like completely false. Joji. Because I mean I like Joji, I just don't think he's the most emotive and emotional artist that I like, but whatever, Spotify. And then my rising sign is Arca.
I don't know who that is.
Like, I guess they fall under the category of hyperpop, but I don't know necessarily what kind. It's kind of just like experimental weird noise music that's from this like queer person in New York. So I don't know. They've been around for a while, and I'm very interested in them. But they make like pretty good, cool music. It's just like stuff that if I played it for my friends, I would be like, "Can you shut this fucking off?" So yeah. That's a corporation that does have my heart, unfortunately. It's Spotify.
Can't hate them all.
No. No. Have you watched anything else on Netflix recently that you've really enjoyed?
Oh, I wanted to talk about Schitt's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian show, written and created by Eugene and I think his name's Daniel Levy. They're a father and son. And it is so funny and so warm and just like it's really it's willy good. It's wee good. It's super well written. It like the relationships between the characters are just phenomenal. And something I really appreciate is just the representation that they have, because did I just forget his name? I was literally just watching it. David. David, one of the characters, he, I don't think he ever really states his sexuality. They have, like, this, in the, like, earlier episodes, he explains it as, like, I like white wine, and I like red wine, and sometimes I like pink wine, and, like, that's how he explains it. Yeah. And then, aside from that, there's only like 2 episodes where they even like comment on his sexuality. And his relationship with his partner has like, I feel like in every show or movie it's very much about people not supporting like a gay relationship or like abuse, like an abusive gay relationship. But it's just, like, a regular relationship, which doesn't happen often in, like, shows and movies, I find. Like, there's always, like, something going on there. But it's just, like, a normal, healthy relationship without any of that extra bullshit. Like, they have one episode where his partner's concerned about coming out to his parents, and they're just like, oh, we don't care, and then they move on. But it's not, like, they don't feel the need to talk about it all the time, and it's just natural, and I don't know, I think it's just really great because it's really rare for it not to be such like a big topic in a show when there is a couple that is gay or lesbian, or you know, it's just they just are existing and they're just a cute couple, and it's not like I don't know. It's really funny and really, like, you care about the characters and you get to watch them grow, and it's just, I really recommend it. I started watching, I kind of want to give it another chance, but there's this movie I was going to recommend to you. I don't know if you're really into, like, gory horror movies. Yeah. It's called Blood Quantum.
Blood Quantum. And
it's like there's a zombie apocalypse, but all the indigenous people are immune. Oh. It's like a really interesting concept. It got a little boring like 3/4 of the way through, but it's like it started off really, really strong. My brain just can't focus for that long, so I turned it off. But I want to rewatch it again, but it's a really interesting concept. So that's like a movie that I've watched recently. Yeah, I mean, all I really do is take in as much media as I can.
Yeah, fair enough.
as well as those psychology videos, because apparently I went on Twitter the other day and apparently like a lot of people are getting recommended these videos. Like the one specifically is what a criminal trying to act insane looks like, and it's just about...
they've been recommended to me, but I've never clicked on them.
Yeah, it's really good. He has like a channel full of videos, and he just takes like interrogation footage and like breaks it down point by point. Like,
wow. He's
like, notice her hands here, or like notice that he's not making eye contact here, and like really, really interesting. I've fallen back down the hole of like true crime and all that jazz.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I've been watching episodes of Schitt's Creek here and there. I feel like it's not one of those shows that I've gotten super invested yet, because I just haven't gotten to know the characters super well. But it's like one of those that I'll like put on in the background. I started watching, though, the Kominsky Method.
Okay.
I don't know the name of the actors or anything like that, but they're all like, it's one of those shows that like you kind of hate it because you're like, oh, this is just a bunch of old white guys in Hollywood making a masturbatory show or like piece of art about their lives, because it basically is like a guy who wanted to be an actor turned into just more of like an acting coach for like the stars and stuff like that, and now he just like is older and teaches classes, and his best friend is like a really famous, well-regarded Hollywood director, and it's kind of about like their family dynamics and stuff like that, and like the friends that they've lost and stuff, and they're both like, the one guy is widowed, the other guy has been like divorced a couple of times, and like they're stumbling through like dating and everything like that. It gives me really big like Grace and Frankie vibes, except like kind of just more focused. It's like two dudes basically, but it's a really good show. I don't know, it's funny and it's like written well, and it's just like you can tell that like it's just one of those pieces of art that you're like, ugh, god, yeah, like this is so like done again and again, but like just the one-liners that they use, it's very like old-timey in a way, but I don't know, there's just something like endearing about it that I really enjoy. What else? A lot of Bo Burnham. I watched Erin Brockovich today, which I hadn't ever seen before. That's another good piece of it's another good film about just the injustices of the world in general, and like how women are treated and how poor people are treated against corporations. Good things. Plus, there's a sexy motorcycle rider, and also Julia Roberts is fine as fuck, as always. I don't know. I feel like I haven't, like, aside from the Bo Burnham special, I haven't seen anything that's been super, like, groundbreaking or amazing for me as of late.
Do you only have Netflix?
I do. When I was in Edmonton, I watched a lot of Letterkenny. I love Letterkenny so much, but it's available on Crave, and I don't have Crave, so.
I've only seen like an episode or two of that show, but
oh my god, Brittany, I feel like you would love it so much.
Probably would.
Like, once you actually get into it.
I'm easy to entertain. I've been making Mal watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer because I grew up on it.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting to watch now. I mean, it's cheesy, of course. But it was a really exciting show for me growing up because I was like, there's this really cool, like, female badass, and I could be her. I could slay vampires. Yeah. But it was just, like, growing up, it was huge for me because it was mainly men that were, like, the leads in shows, and, but a lot has come out about Joss Whedon being a piece of shit, and the women on, like, that were filming that show didn't have a good time at all. Yeah. And I can see it now that I'm not a kid. I just had a stroke. I just, like, choked on my words. It's very misogynistic, a lot of the writing. Just a little poor taste. Yeah, there's, like, we keep turning to each other. We're just like, what the fuck? Why did he say that?
Yeah.
But I've been picking up on a lot of that and a lot of shows lately because I think it's just been on my mind and it's kind of ruining things for me. Like when I was watching the Marvel movies.
I know.
Don't even get me started.
It's hard to be woke and consume things you once loved.
Yeah, because I was like, Buffy's the best show ever. Nothing's wrong with this. And then I grew up and I was like, wow, this is... I still love it and I still appreciate it because I grew up on it, but I'm like, this is really gross.
Also, I just want to say my use of the word woke back there really made me cringe a little bit internally. So
yeah, I was just going to skip past it.
Informed. I don't want to sound like one of those assholes, but like to be informed on issues.
Not even that, it's just being like, I watched it when I was a kid. So like now that I'm aware about things.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the shitty thing because like it's so normal that growing up as like when I was a kid, I was just like, yeah, that's how guys talk to girls, and that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of like old comedies that I wish I could watch, like that are just iconic, but it's so hard for me to like bring myself to watch it. Like old comedies from the 70s and stuff like that, I'm just like
constantly rolling my eyes.
I can't, like, because it's just not funny to me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe if I was shown it when I was like 13, 14, I would have been like, ah, ha, ha, but then felt like a little deeply uncomfortable. But now I'm just like, this is just, it's not funny. And like good comedy to me isn't like fucking playing the same strings of like misogyny and the patriarchy over and over and over again. Like, I don't know.
I mean, circling back to the Bo Burnham special, that's what he does very well. It's very, he doesn't try, it doesn't even feel like he's trying to be funny. He just is. And he can talk about like really serious issues in a way that's not offensive or not too much, you know?
Exactly. Like, because I think he does kind of walk that line sometimes, because if you like talk to someone who was like going through something or like was very serious about a specific issue, it'd be like, I mean, as he says, like, how could you be joking at a time like this? Like, you know, like, but it is self-aware to a certain extent. And that definitely does, it does make it seem different if someone was just, like, going off and, like, making jokes, like, about everything that's happened in the past year and, like, not paying regard to the fact that, like, either them saying the jokes in the position that they're in, they have privilege, or like what they're joking about isn't necessarily something that should be getting joked about. Like, I don't know. And he doesn't ever cross the line. He like kind of walks it in a way, which is nice.
Yeah.
Also, I think the White Woman Instagram song was probably like not my favorite, but one of the best in terms of the people group that I was making fun of, and I really appreciated it. Yeah,
it made me laugh really hard. And I've seen a lot of people on Instagram, or on TikTok, like comparing their Instagram photos to the photos that he created for that song, and it's so funny. And like, that's the thing, like, no one's getting offended by it. They're like, yeah, I do take photos like that. Like, that's really funny, because he's really, like, thoughtful about the way that he words things and the way that he like tells his jokes, which I feel like a lot of people aren't.
And you know what I appreciate about it? He made an entire song about a white woman's Instagram. He not once put on a fake wig. Not once. Like, but it was so well thought out, just even with like the frames changing to like being a square frame, and like all of the costuming and the decor and all of the different shots that he took for it. Everything was so well thought out and so perfect, and there was nothing gimmicky about it.
Yeah.
Like, and that was so nice, because I think that's like what bothers people, where it's like you can definitely like critique certain groups of people and like critique like certain things, and like it's fun to make fun of it, but it's even better when it's done in such a like just, it's a brilliant, I don't know, it's not even brilliant, it's just like done well, because like, I mean, he could get in flack for making fun of women, period, but like he did it in a way that was just like honest about a people group, and like wasn't like mocking per se.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I'm a woman, I do this, like all women do this. It was just like, these are photos that women take, and it's funny.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just, not putting you on a pedestal, Bo, but you're a bit of a genius, and I think you owe yourself that.
He owes himself a lot more credit than I feel like he gives himself.
100%.
He's very talented.
Yeah. Got anything else?
I forgot. I'm having a bit of a brain fart, honestly.
That's okay. That's totally okay. It's like super hot outside right now, and like
yeah, my apartment's really gross.
Yeah.
I don't have air conditioning.
Me neither. Woo. You're still wearing a flannel though. Holy shit.
'Cause I'm insecure about my body.
Valid.
I'm taking this off as soon as we're done. I don't like summer.
I hate. No. Wait.
I
love.
No, I don't like my brain right now. I mean, it's all the just sitting on my couch watching shows and stuff, but I feel like when it's hot outside, my brain literally malfunctions because all I can focus on is like how sticky and gross I feel.
Yep. No, I get that for sure. You should go get a Slurpee after this. It really does help. I filled myself with joy.
Includes leaving my house though.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Which I don't intend on doing.
Agoraphobia does go away. Just for all of those of you who might be going through something like that, it does go away. I would say my best fixer-upper of that issue was deep breathing, which sounds dumb, but it actually does really help before leaving my house especially. And do like a litmus test. Do you want to be listening to like good uplifting music while you're walking around, or do you want to just not be listening to music at all? Also though, listening to podcasts helped me a lot too while being outside, because it did help distract my brain away from that anxiety. So listen to our podcast while you go for a walk. And
also just like test the waters.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to dive into being in public. You can dip your toes in, go for a short little walk. If you're feeling too overwhelmed, go home, try again the next day.
Exactly.
We're all adjusting. This was a very bizarre thing that happened to us all, and I know I'm gonna get out of this funk, but it's gonna take me a while. I wasn't a super social person before, but now it's like I don't even want to walk by people because they'll perceive me.
The moral of the story is being outside can feel good, but being inside can feel better sometimes.
And that's okay.
Thank you, Bo Burnham, for Inside.
Yeah, it's so
and
good.
Awards.
I wish I was better at articulating my thoughts.
Yeah, well, and like another thing that made me realize is that's just like what I want to do. I just want to create stuff.
Yeah.
And like be able to have people appreciate it and like enjoy it and to relate to it and stuff like that. But there's a part of me that's like, but I don't want any of that to be attributed to me. Like I want everything that I create and put out to be separate from me so that people like enjoy it, but that I'm not like I want to get credit for it, obviously, but I don't want people to, like, you know, start to look to me to keep putting out things or something like that, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, my God, this is this really great piece of something, but I'm not, like, I'm adjacent to it. It's not, like, who I am, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Eventually, one day, I'll figure out a groove, and I'll get into it.
Yeah. I think something that I've had to repeat to myself is that it's the stuff that you're going to create isn't for everyone, and you shouldn't hold yourself to a standard of like, I need this to be like this, I need this to be funny. It's just like, if it's funny to you or if it's entertaining to you, if it means something to you, then just put it out there. Because obviously there's days like today where my brain is full of fog and I'm not very good at talking. And that happens sometimes.
For sure. But You know what? If there's even one person that listens to this all the way through and enjoys it, that's all I care about. And let's be honest, I'll probably be that one person, but I enjoyed it and it makes me happy. So we're reaching the end, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like
that's okay.
out of it.
It's the heat, baby.
It is. So I got my Netflix recommendations in there. I got across that I like Bo Burnham. I think
yes.
I got out what I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch the Bo Burnham special if you're mentally prepared to. I think it's not only is it entertaining and funny and kind of an escape for part of it, just gets you thinking and kind of makes you realize that you're not the only person dealing with what you're dealing with. Yeah. It's
a good one. Thank you again, Bo, because I know you're listening to us talk about this right now.
Obviously.
And I just wanted to say you're fantastic. The work that you put out is genuinely brilliant, life-changing, whatever. And this is the end of the episode now. So
Yep.
Yep. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoy us, feel free to follow us at any of our social medias, which are linked in various places that you probably know where to look to find them. We have a Discord, so feel free to join the Discord if you would like to. And thank you to Doug Hoyer for making our outro and intro song, and to Malachi Wilkins for doing our little intro animation and all of our little images that we put everywhere. So yeah, that's this.
And
thanks for watching.
Do let us know if there's any topic you'd like us to talk about.
Yes.
You can tweet at us or message us or in the Discord, whatever. And we'll try to talk about it. We've probably fit it in.
Yeah. We got lots of time on our hands. We're just chugging along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
All right.